A woman wants to feel like she's inspiring and nurturing and surrendering to you.
Right.
Just like you want to feel like you're making an impact. You get that when I say you want to feel like you're making an impact. You get that, right?
Yep.
As a guy, maybe we don't know each other. We're at a bar, sitting next to each other. We can have a conversation pretty easily because we're both men.
Yeah.
So I understand you to a degree. You know, that's why, like the guy last night, I was talking to that black dude. Right off the bat, just because he's another man, we kind of have rapport already. You know, we can start talking about like girls and money, and I think we were talking about like drugs, and he smokes weed, and I was talking about I don't smoke. We start talking about shrooms and stuff, other stuff. You know, and those are the topics, but there's underlying that there's a sense of like, I get you because you're a man and I'm a man. Well, with a woman, it's different for most guys. Some guys get women. Gay guys get women. And then some guys who are, you know, like natural with women, a lot of times those guys will come off gay, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But, or they'll have a lot of feminine kind of, stereotypically feminine traits. Like a buddy of mine trims his eyebrows and spends a lot of time in front of the mirror and very conscientious about the clothes he wears.
I used to be like that a lot.
Yeah. And he's very good with women. Is it the trimming the eyebrows or the clothes what makes him good with women? No, they probably sense like, okay, he's got a good sense of style. That might win him a bonus point or something.
Right.
But it's that sensibility, that way of thinking that leads to those behaviors that also leads to him getting women. Getting like in terms of like understanding them. Yeah. In the same way that I can understand another guy.
Right.
So in a way, he's kind of like a woman, and that helps him like connect with women. You don't need to be like that. That's not necessary. It's actually problematic for him in a lot of ways. Because he won't leave the apartment if he has like a pimple. So he's got like girl insecurities. He's slept with a lot of women, but he also has a lot of problems with women.
Okay. All right.
But I'm just saying he's able to connect with women pretty quickly because of that, but then it leads to other problems. He wouldn't be able to have the kind of connections and the kind of just the depth of connection, and while at the same time not having to lie about wanting to sleep with other women and stuff. He wouldn't be able to do that. So like I can have a really strong connection with the woman, like we're actually like friends, like really close, amazing sex. She's happy, I'm happy, and I'm sleeping with other women.
And she knows it?
I don't put it in her face, but
but she's aware.
She's aware that I'm not monogamous with her.
Okay.
And she's okay with that. Well, I say okay, there's going to be the conditioning, and you can get the little tantrums here and there, but in general, she doesn't want to lose, the connection is so good, she doesn't want to lose it, and the fact that I've been honest and I have integrity is more powerful than label of boyfriend. Integrity is more powerful than monogamy.
Are you saying, is monogamy, again, is it detrimental to that polarity again?
No.
No?
Monogamy is okay.
But, yeah, okay.
The way to think about human sexuality is that we're all a little weird. We all have our things that we're into, and there's all different kinds of relationships we can have. You just think about all the weird fetishes out there. Some people like to dress as babies. You know, yeah, no, but but that's okay. I mean, if that's what they're into, if they're not hurting anybody, that's okay.
Cool, yeah.
But human sexuality is extremely varied.
Yeah.
And person to person, like as a guy, like what I liked at 15 hasn't changed. I still like that shit. Like my blowjobs and my doggy style. I'm pretty fucking boring, right?
I'm the same, man.
But, you know, I still like jerk off to the same shit I was jerking off to when I was 15, you know? So, but that's, as an individual, I'm pretty static, right? But you look at the whole species and we're very dynamic. You know, you don't see like, I doubt that there are squirrels that like can only get off when you know, another squirrel like bites their ear, you know, or something like that, right? I don't think squirrels have fetishes, you know what I mean? So
I see that.
so but humans do. It's because for us it's we give meaning to sex.
Yeah.
One of the many meanings we give to sex is morality. It's not there, it's not real in the sense that that's a woman who's having sex out of wedlock is bad or good. We've just made that up in our heads.
Right.
You know, needing a girl to, you know, wear lingerie is not how women need to be. That's just in my head. Like I've been conditioned to think that that's hot. That's for some reason that I assign meaning to that. It could make me think that she's prettier that way. It could make me think that she's more submissive because she's wearing this frilly shit that's kind of like signifies her the fact that she's smaller and weaker. You know, you think about panties. I mean, panties are not really functional. Like we think about a thong and stuff. Why? I mean, it's because we have a meaning. There's a meaning we attach to the thong. We say, oh, you know, she's wearing this basically this silly shit. It kind of signifies like her submissive nature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a meaning we've assigned to it. What's primal? Yeah, the need to then there's different levels. Like there's the need to reproduce, but then there's the primal level. You could say, if you look at hunter-gatherer tribes and how women dress in different hunter-gatherer tribes that are still around today, you know, women in Africa wear the rings around their necks to make their necks longer. They've assigned meaning to that. It's feminine. But then in the Amazon, you'll see women that have a giant thing through their nose and have paint red shit on their tits, and then that's feminine. You know, whatever. That in their head they've assigned that to being feminine. What's really interesting is if you can go for like a month without looking at any porn, and that doesn't necessarily even mean like X-rated movies, but like any sort of image that's objectifying the female body and face. If you can like go without that for a long time, it's damn near impossible today, right? You'd have to like turn off your TV, your computer. You can even go on a site and like there's gonna be banners with shit. It's almost impossible to escape. But if you somehow could go to the mountains for like a month and like not see a woman, yeah, it would, right? And then come back, I guarantee, and I've experienced this, a woman that you might rate today as like a 4 or a 3, you will see like a 4 and like you'll actually start to get hard. So you kind of become deconditioned, and so all you're seeing is woman. And that's enough, right? Nurture. Her helping you, her taking care of you, her contributing, that's going to be a huge part of like conversation focusing on how she nurtures, how she inspires. Surrender is about letting go. It's about, for a woman, the sexual process feels like letting go. She's letting you into her body. So we talk about submission. Submission is by force. Surrender is actually a choice. You choose to let go. And that's really what happens. In a sense, is surrender really surrender if she chose to do it? So surrender is really cool because as a man, we think of surrender, we associate it with like war and like surrender's bad, right? But for a woman, it's not. And that's why women don't really get war. They don't understand it. Or when they see guys fighting, it's like, the fuck. Because for a woman, surrender is a good thing. Sort of like opposite day, right? So that sense of letting go and surrendering, you can think about a woman when it starts to rain, you know, the guy, oh shit, we got to get under this tree and hide from the rain. The woman kind of just, I dated a girl, did this one time, it actually started to rain. She just like surrendered to the rain and like enjoyed the feeling of it. And so in the same sense, sexually, when a woman can totally let go, that's when she's her most fulfilled. It's when she has the best experiences, when she can let go. It's spiritual in a way. It's like sex can be it's kind of like meditation, right? Because she's letting go. Like you're focusing. Like her sex is tantra, your sex is yoga, where you're focused totally on her. That's what yogic meditation would be, is, you know, focus on a point or a candle or a mantra, or picture a white dot in your mind and focus on that, or focus on your breath. Whereas more of a tantric meditation would be just watch your thoughts and allow them. Watch your body sensations and allow them. So in the same way, sexually, you're focused on her and she's defocused. Embrace, thrust, embrace. So a woman wants to surrender. She wants to, but you got to think about what makes us okay with surrendering? What makes us want to surrender? We surrender all the time. I mean, men do this a lot. When you think about like when we elect politicians or we give control to, we surrender to the police, and they pull you over. Why do you surrender? And so this gets into control. So just think about INS as kind of like north, south, east, and west in the forest. With each woman, every woman wants to feel like she inspires. Not every, but the women that you're going to meet and be interested in are feminine in their energy. And so someone who has feminine energy wants to feel like they are inspiring someone with masculine energy, nurturing someone with masculine energy, surrendering to someone with masculine energy. So the INS thing is it's not a system that lends itself, or a structure that lends itself too much to like doing drills and exercises. But what will happen is just by understanding those dimensions, it will give you sort of a navigation with women. So when you meet a woman, letting her know that she inspires you, creating opportunities for her to inspire you, and then letting her know she did it, basically elicit and then reward. Same with nurturing and then surrendering as well. So the last part of the last dimension is time. So we have 3 dimensions, and the 4th dimension is time. So time plays a huge role now with awareness, developing awareness with each woman, because women have they have like jobs and they go to school and they do the same things we do. Yeah. And with technology like texting and phone and computers, social, Facebook and all this, they're not sitting by the phone like in the 50s. A woman sits by the phone hoping Johnny will call her and ask her out on a date. They're not doing that now.
Right.
They're doing the same things we are. They're going out, living life, working, volunteering, going to school, they have hobbies and all these things. You know, back in the day, I mean, women weren't even encouraged to have hobbies. You know, the women didn't have like, things that they like to do.
Right.
They were just taught to like learn to cook and support, you know, be a housewife basically. So that's out now. So what that means is considering her time and her lifestyle, how she spends her time and what her time situation is like, very, very important to hanging out, seeing each other, having an ongoing relationship. If I know that a woman, you know, sings every Wednesday evening, that's going to affect like plans I make and when I contact her. Maybe I go see her sing. Maybe I know she's singing and I don't try to make plans for Wednesday. Maybe I know that she likes to be a homebody on the weekends because she has very busy weeks. So I keep that in mind. So if I want to see her again, I'm going to set something up for the weekend. So just understanding, and it's not rocket science. I mean, just being aware that women have lives and they're doing stuff. They're not just dolls sitting on a shelf when you're not around. That's more follow-up. Okay, so INS, I'm not going to get too much into that this weekend. I'm kind of giving you the overview because you haven't done sexual supremacy. I just want you to understand ACT. But the awareness stuff, that's in sexual supremacy. Learn about that after this weekend, okay? Thrust, again, okay, actually, let me wrap this up. So we're going to get into control, and control is basically what we're going to be drilling.
Okay.
Okay, this is what you do.
Okay.
So, just to wrap this up, and then we'll chill for a second. Sit. Thrust and awareness. Be, know, and then they meet and do. So this is you, this is the woman, this is where you meet. This is the process now. You kind of handle this on your own. You learn about women. Starting point was the theory that I teach, and then each woman building awareness. Okay? Building awareness of her. Awareness of embrace. 3 dimensions of embrace. 4 actually, but 3 is about the personality. 4th is time, how she's handling her time. We can also look at this. If you notice, look at it. I mean, where does it start? So A and T, they meet here. Well, let's think about control and thrust. So if you understand the process of control, why control is given, and then you are developing as a man, which really means getting rid of, reducing the extras, right? Yeah. What you'll naturally do is you won't be so worried about yourself trying to be good enough. Those thoughts won't enter your head. Frees up your attention to build awareness. Okay? So you'll naturally do this. This will happen if you do these 2. This will happen if you do these 2.
Okay.
Let's talk about these 2. So awareness and control. You understand why people give control and what that process, kind of the process that you use in basically our Western culture. And then you have awareness of women. You'll realize that there's no lions and tigers and bears. So you can thrust more because you go into the situation kind of understanding what's going on. Just like, it's the difference between, getting on a soccer field, not knowing the rules, not knowing how the game's going to be played, and then trying to play, versus understanding the rules. The rules aren't complicated. Basically, you can't use your hands or arms.
What, in control?
In soccer, sorry. In soccer, you can't use your hands and arms.
Right.
And you and your people with the same color shirt are trying to get the ball into that big square. So once you know that, now you're already 100 times better player. Even if you never even played before, just knowing the rules versus not knowing the rules. So knowing the rules knowing how the process works. And then this would be, I don't know, to keep the metaphor going, working out, working on your game and that kind of thing. And then once you have like your skills down, like you're able to dribble, control the ball, you understand how the game is played. That opens your mind up now to pay attention to what the other team is doing, and to open up your mind in terms of open up your attention in terms of like where your teammates are at. Awareness, field awareness, right? So these all work together. None of them is more important. These two support this, and it's completely self-supporting. So that's the ACT system.